We have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
sense.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
In my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I won't always smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of FEMA.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they know me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X to my jeans and I got...
This is the sound of famous fun.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Sunday Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Guidance goes live. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. All right, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr_A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr_A_Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. All right. If you don't like what the queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Exit stage left. Don't let the virtual doorknob hit you on the way out. Now, with that all being said, let's get into it, okay? Hello, Claudette, Sandra, Tupac for Life, TC Dan, Lillian X, Amazing Grace. All right, Desmond, Deronda, Lillian X. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. Pensy Lola, Diane Nash is in the house. Okay, TC Dan, Christine, Christopher, Dervis, Buckhorse DC, Pauline, Deronda. Okay, let's get into it. Sweet D, I see you, beloved. Support the Arts is here to hear the queen go in on Kabami. I hate to do it to you, beloved, but it must be done. Somebody has to say it. All right, goodness rated both. So let's get into it. First things first, there's a whole lot going on with this Hurricane Helene situation. There's people still in distress. Hey, dark-skinned brother, we next, aka DSB. Okay, so there's a whole lot going on. These people have not gotten adequate help as far as I'm concerned. And it's really gotten to the point that it's really bad because, in fact, people have literally, and I'm not even trying to be funny, people have literally had to ride in on donkeys to help these people. Now, this is a darn shame, seeing as how we have a vice president who's walking around here wearing a belt that costs more than the $750, okay, that they decided to give some of the victims of the hurricane. I want you all to pay attention. All right, Kabami needs to sit down somewhere. Now, let's just go in and show this picture real quick. Okay, now you all see this. This is Support the Arts girl, Kabami. Now, Kabami is wearing a very expensive belt. When your belt costs more than what you're giving hurricane victims, okay? Please make it all make sense. Now, she's wearing an Hermes belt, costs $770 retail. But sadly, many of the victims were given a measly $750, and some of them didn't even get that. Said they were turned down. People have been trying to bring help and assistance, and they've been turned away, threatened with being arrested, and all of this. Now, I want you all to pay attention because, see, here's the thing. When we start telling the truth about the shady stuff that's going on specifically within our own government, they start trying to silence us. They want to shush content creators. They want to tell us it's missing disinformation. They don't want us to speak the truth. Okay? They don't want us to talk about certain things. And at the end of the day, this is because they don't want us to have the angst against them. This is because they don't want us to see the hidden hand, the things they do behind our backs and the lies that they perpetuate and continue to do so. And they do this specifically through the aid of the media, the lamestream media. Okay, so with that all being said, the truth's going to be told whether they like it or not. Now, here's what I want to say. Kamala Harris is always out here talking about the middle class. Okay, as if they're not poor people. She's always focusing her energy and efforts on the middle class, when in fact there is no longer a middle class. It's the rich and the poor. That's what it is. But while she's talking about this, she wants us to believe that she can relate to us. She cannot. This is a woman whose family owned slaves in Jamaica. And I heard allegedly that they received reparations. Okay? After they lost their slaves. Now, I can't substantiate this, but that has been said. But what I can substantiate is this. That Kamala Harris has deep pockets. Okay, she's a multi-millionaire.
So don't let her fool you when she's sitting here telling us this old same song and dance, about how she can relate to us and how she grew up and this and that, had to work at McDonald's. I doubt she ever worked at McDonald's. Veep's deep pockets, Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff's investment portfolio and property empire with celeb neighbors that saw VP become a millionaire. Her income skyrocketed from $160,000 per year. All right. Vice President Kamala Harris achieved millionaire status despite working as a public servant. And it's thanks to a massive investment portfolio and property that she owns with her husband, Doug Emhoff. Now, for those of you that tuned in yesterday to the broadcast I did on the main channel, you already know that I told you about the lithium deposits down there in North Carolina. I told you about the high purity quartz down there, and that these people wanted to start mining for that. Okay, this company that is affiliated with Kamala's husband. And she was supposedly, allegedly, the last one that needed to sign off on the permits. Now, I'm sorry, but excuse me if that seems like a conflict of interest. Okay, and then they want to say that Donald Trump was lying. This is what they say. Now, I want you all to pay attention, because in any case, when I'm telling you all this stuff, it's not me defending Trump. I'm just pointing out the facts, because I've already told you guys that I do believe that Kabame is going to be the next president, and not because she literally just got so many votes, because that's just the way it is. Okay. Now, they are saying that Trump lied and, basically, is accusing the Biden administration of giving all this money to the migrants, and therefore they didn't have money for the hurricane victims. Well, I'm sorry, but isn't that what the news articles all said? Isn't that what was reported by the New York Post and many others? Didn't I just tell you all and showed you the proof of receipts that they said that $1.4 billion was spent on migrants, and now FEMA's broke? They're crying foul, saying they don't have anything left. But now they want to say Trump's the one that put that out there and that it's a whole lie. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to show the video. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Hundreds more still missing. Helene, now the deadliest hurricane to hit the mainland U.S. since Hurricane Katrina in 2005. President Biden and Vice President Harris touring hard-hit communities across the Southeast, and earlier this week deploying active duty troops. Donald Trump preparing to make his second visit to Georgia today and claiming without evidence that the Biden administration is withholding aid from states, including Georgia and North Carolina.
They stole the FEMA money just like they stole it from a bank so they could give it to their illegal immigrants that they want to have vote for them this season. They're trying to get them on the voters roll. We cannot let that happen.
The White House pushing back against those allegations, releasing a statement that says this, quote, "This is false. The Disaster Relief Fund is specifically appropriated by Congress to prepare for, respond to, recover from, and mitigate impacts of natural disasters. It is completely separate from other grant programs administered by FEMA for DHS." Our panel is back here. Now, this has clearly become a big flashpoint on the right. Alex, they're talking about, they're tying basically immigration, all the places where they feel stronger in with this disaster relief question. Overarching all of it is the fact that, the response we're a week out now. There's still people missing, cut off from the world. We're just playing video of a man holding up a mirror to try to get attention from a helicopter pilot. This is happening in America. That is a challenge for Biden and Harris.
Yeah, and Trump seized on it right away last weekend. He was the first one of these three people to be on the ground when he went to Georgia last weekend. Meanwhile, after the hurricane made landfall, Joe Biden did travel to Rehoboth Beach over the weekend. When he was asked about it, he said, "Well, I had a telephone," and it seemed like a little bit flip. And then Kamala Harris also realized there was a problem because she was out on the West Coast on a fundraising swing and quickly sort of came back. And now you see that they are scrambling to sort of show that they are on the ground. Joe Biden making several visits to storm damaged areas just the last 2 days. And so they're trying to sort of play a little catch up here.
A Chewy order is on the way for...
Okay, so I want you all to pay attention, because he said they're scrambling. Yeah, they are. They're trying to feign concern. Okay, when the fact of the matter is, I don't think they're concerned at all. I really don't think they give a damn. Okay, specifically since we know that this lithium and these high purity quartz deposits are something that Doug's, okay, that have helped his shareholdings or to go up significantly, allegedly. Okay, claims false. They're saying that these claims are false, but how are they false when this is what absolutely came out in the reports? Okay. And I find it interesting that they're saying that Trump's lying when in fact, they're the ones who put the stories out. And now because he's repeating what they've already said in so many words, of course, he added his own spin to it. But now they're trying to cry foul. This is all very interesting to me. Okay. Elon Musk and many others, I've shown you the videos of people saying that in fact, there's no aid coming. They've been, just left, pushed aside and all of that. Hold on. Let me show you all this receipt before I get into the next video. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, as you can see here, this is Kabami's husband. Doug Emhoff's retirement accounts are heavily invested in exchange traded funds from Vanguard, BlackRock, and Charles Schwab. Some of the funds in Emhoff's portfolio, according to documents filed by Harris and 2021, included, look at these. These are his investments. Okay? Vanguard and BlackRock are the very ones who want to go down there and start drilling, start mining for the lithium deposits and the high purity quartz. And Kamala, as I told you on yesterday, or I played the video of the guy saying that she was the last one to sign up on the permit. She's supposed to be the one that has the final say so. Yes, definitely a conflict of interest. Now, with that all being said, let's go to some of the videos of what people are saying, because, I told you all about HARP before, okay, and how the weather can be manipulated. Dan says, I got a super chat. Hold on. Thanks, beloved. I told you all how they've been supposedly have ways to manipulate the weather and all of that. But at the end of the day, of course, I'm sure they'll say that's all conspiracy theories. But what I'm about to show you are people who absolutely, a whistleblower specifically, news reports also, where people have said this. Okay, Dan, I don't see the super chat, beloved. Oh, there it is. Okay. Thank you, dark-skinned brother. Says Trump has no room to talk. Remember when Puerto Rico got hit and Trump did nothing? Thank you, beloved, for your super chat donation and your insight into the topic. Now, with that all being said, there was a video that came out, beloved, and I showed that video yesterday where they showed the Puerto Ricans opening a warehouse, or I don't know what it was. It looked like a warehouse facility, and there was stuff stocked up in there, supplies, water, and all kinds of stuff. And they said that FEMA hid this stuff from the people to lie on Trump, or so it would look like Trump didn't do anything. Now, I can't substantiate that. I can only go by what the video showed. And those people were clearly shocked to see all of those resources in there. They were video recording it and everything, and that's how we got the footage. But at the end of the day, here's the thing. I'm not saying that any of these government officials can talk, any of these past or current presidents that we've had, because we know that politicians lie and they usually say what we want to hear, or they use the tactic of fear mongering to get us to go along with their nefarious agendas in many cases. The bottom line is there are ways that they can manipulate the weather. And I'm not saying they did this in the case of Hurricane Helene, but I'm saying that I do have questions, and as should we all. Was this all by design? Who knows? Specifically, when it's impacted more devastatingly the areas where these lithium and quartz deposits are supposed to be. I just find it very interesting. Okay, so now let's get into some of these videos, what people are talking about. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
friends, no time to waste here. Did you know that the United States has multiple patents on how to steer and control hurricanes and tornadoes? Yes, this is very real and it's backed by sources, as well as our own NOAA website, which discusses weather manipulation and what steps you or I would have to take in order to do our own weather manipulation. My friends, this is no joke. Many people believe that weather manipulation was used for Hurricane Helene, then somehow coincidentally stalled over the rare lithium-producing towns of Western and North Carolina, which is the exact location of the largest lithium deposit we have in the United States. Now, something to keep in mind while moving forward, ever since we left Afghanistan, we have lost the ability to mine lithium there, where most of it used to come from. Now we are stuck having to fill this insane demand we have for this lithium right here in the United States. Once again, the largest deposit being right over the towns that just got completely destroyed by this hurricane. All right, so before I tie this all up with this lithium situation, this video you're looking at right now went super viral over the last few days. We have over 3 million views on this clip here, where we are talking about these weird anomalies that were taking place right before landfall of Hurricane Helene. There's a lot of controversy about what's going on here, but these things pointed directly to where we saw landfall. Not only that, but we saw some weird scalar-looking beams in there, a lot of weird stuff that we were breaking down, and it's causing a lot of talk about this situation, which is the point here. We've already established that weather manipulation exists, but I want you to take a look at this website from 2007, my friends. That's 17 years ago, and it came out from the Telegraph. It says, "Scientists a step closer to steering hurricanes." Now, in this article, they explain how they're using technology in order to control, manipulate, and steer these types of storms.
Okay, so I want you all to pay attention. I want you all to pay attention because this is something that I've told you about on several occasions. And now let's go to this news report from 9 years ago when they literally talk about the same thing. Okay? And again, I'm not saying they did that in this instance, but I find it all very interesting. Okay? Because when devils play God, it's always interesting to me because who do they think they are?
Talking about climate change yesterday, and now we're learning that scientists and researchers are looking at how to change the weather on purpose. That's right. Lasers now could one day manipulate rain and lightning. CBS This Morning contributor Michio Kaku is a physics professor at City College of New York. Professor, nice to see you. Extraordinary seeing Al Gore and Bill Clinton there together with Charlie, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, they did not get into this discussion, though. But it is fascinating. I mean, lasers, really, to change the weather?
That's right. Well, as Mark Twain once famously said, everyone complains about the weather, but no one ever does anything about it. Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
But this is experimental.
It's experimental.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Now, you all heard that. Now you need to be asking yourselves, why in the hell would they want to make lightning and storms? Why would they want to do that? Most people don't want to be caught in storms. Most people are afraid of being struck by lightning. So why would they be manufacturing it? Okay? And then they're acting like this is something new or experimental. But here's the fact. HAARP. HAARP. It stands for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, a U.S. government-funded research program that studies the ionosphere. The ionosphere is the highest part of Earth's atmosphere that is ionized. Now, the program's main instrument is the Ionospheric Research Instrument, known as the IRI, a radio frequency transmitter that can temporarily excite a small area of the ionosphere. Now, the goal of the program is to understand, simulate, and control the processes that take place in the ionosphere. Okay, simply put in layman's terms, they can control the weather, so they can manipulate the weather. Okay, when they say control the processes that take place in the ionosphere, that's control the weather. They can try to use all the fancy jargon they want, but that's what it is, cut and dry. Okay, if we just want to keep it real. Now, with that all being said, let's look at some more of these videos because I find it all nefarious. I find it all very nefarious. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Because this is real crazy. Okay, going to another video.
not saying that the government created Hurricane Helene. What I am saying is that the government has been manipulating the weather since 1947. What first caught my attention with Helene was the shift in the storm's projected path. One day, it looked like it would hit my town. The next day, it had shifted east. I then noticed an odd flight path of NOAA 42, the aircraft being flown, a Lockheed Martin Orion P-3. This prompted me to look at previous uses for the P-3, where I discovered that they were used in the 1960s to manipulate Hurricane Camille in a, quote, weather war on Cuba. Now, I know this sounds out there, but as we begin to see more and more the terrible things our government has done in the past, is it really so far-fetched? Here are the projections from the 23rd of September. A large spread traveling the Alabama-Georgia line and ending up in Illinois. On the 24th, projections shift slightly east, and the storm is projected to finish in Indiana. On the morning of the 25th, the path shifts back west and shows to be finishing in western Kentucky. That evening, a P-3 conducts a 6-hour operation inside the developing storm. The next morning, on the 26th, the path shows to have shifted slightly east again, now finishing in northwestern Tennessee. The evening of the 26th, the same P-3 conducts operations throughout Hurricane Helene as it makes landfall, and the storm's actual path shifts further east, finishing in northeastern Tennessee. What would the government's motivations possibly be to modify a storm? That I don't know, but I do believe that if we can maintain our republic long enough, time will eventually tell.
Right, so you guys heard that, and listen. Now, I've told you all before. Denise said, how do we stop these maniacs? Well, we don't. The Most High has to stop them because we can't. They're far advanced and ahead of the things that we're used to seeing. And here's the thing. They've been doing this for decades, okay? I told you guys that April the 3rd of 1974, there was a super outbreak of tornadoes. 149 tornadoes touched down on that day. And I believe, if memory serves me correct from my research, that 49 of those were killer tornadoes. Okay? I mean, these tornadoes were everywhere. Can you imagine 149 tornadoes? And this was allegedly done by HARP. Okay? And October the 13th of 1947, the U.S. military also, and I know I've told you this before, they first attempted to modify a hurricane by seeding it with dry ice. Okay? So this should be nothing new to those of you who've been following the channel because I've told you all these things a myriad of times. And, you know, it's just all very nefarious. Like I said, we heard about how Hurricane Katrina, the levees were blown up and all of that. But hold on. I'm going to go to this video of a news reporter who's a whistleblower talking about the geoengineering, which I have also talked to you about. When I told you that in 2018, it came to my attention that Bill Gates, whom I call Kill Bill, okay? At the end of the day, I told you how he wanted to block out the sun and how he's talking about, at the time, sending up thousands of airplanes with these balloons full of chemicals to release into the stratosphere. And how Steve O'Bannon, I believe it's his name, the former director of the FBI, talked about the geoengineering and the chemtrails and all of that. Okay, I want you all to pay attention because these people are nefarious as far as I'm concerned. Okay, likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Remember, it doesn't cost you a single thing.
Here with Kristen Megan. She's a military veteran, right?
Yes, I was in the U.S. Air Force for 9 years.
Wow. And you came out and blew the whistle on geoengineering, things that you witnessed were going on. Can you give us the real nutshell?
Absolutely. Basically, I had heard of what many people know as the term chemtrails. And I worked in a job called bioenvironmental engineering. And I thought that was insane. And why would we do something like that? Modify the weather by using hazardous materials in our atmosphere. So, and actually the process of trying to debunk it or disprove it, I realized it was actually coming right out of my office, as I was one of the people that was approving the chemicals. And it really shook the core of my oath. And I did a lot of sampling, did a lot of investigation, and I blew the whistle and I got out. And I've now used my credentials, my oath, and my powers for good to help people understand it's very real. It's now openly admitted. There are multiple forms of weather modification. I specifically found the one of stratospheric aerosol injection. And collectively around the globe, we have to understand that it is now being admitted because they're saying it's combating climate change. Well, the climate change we need to be worried about is man-made climate engineering, also known as geoengineering.
And
I'm going to pause it right there because isn't that what I told you guys? Isn't that what I told you guys last week? I asked you, I said, do you believe in climate change? Okay, and some of you said yes, some said no. But at the end of the day, who's changing the climate if in fact it's changing? I don't think that it's a naturally occurring thing. I think that things are purposely being done. And also I told you that Bill Gates, his excuse for wanting to block out the sun was because he claimed that climate change was a problem. Now, before he said that, he initially said that the sun had been giving us cancer for 40 years. That's what he said. Okay? At the end of the day, it's not the sun that gives people cancer for the most part. At least not people who look like me. All right? So these are some of the nefarious things that they're doing. But let's continue with the video.
when you say you had chemicals being pumped into the air, what kind of chemicals are they putting out that rain down on humanity, basically?
Nanoparticulate metals, like you had different sulfates and barium and strontium. I know it's probably changed over time. I know they use silver iodide for certain things, but these are the odd part of it was the quantities that I saw them coming in, the form that they were coming in. And it's the same type of materials that I was trying to engineer out of the workplace to substitute with safer materials. And when you notice that what's called a safety data sheet, the information about a chemical of what personal protective equipment to wear, how do you dispose of it, how do you pack it to ship it. When key information is missing, I ask questions, and my questions led to demonization, and I knew I found something I shouldn't have.
That's insane. So
now pay attention. Her questions led to demonization, and that's when she knew she found something she shouldn't have. And also, I misspoke. I said the reporter was the whistleblower. I meant the reporter is interviewing the whistleblower. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, you will be demonized when you start speaking truth to power and exposing things that they don't want exposed. This is what happens, and this is why we have so much censorship now, and why we have to choose our words carefully. Now, with that all being said, let me just say that all of this that's being said about weather manipulation just for the purposes of being on ScrewTube, this is all alleged, okay? These are not facts. Wink, wink. This is all alleged, okay? But let's continue.
these metals are basically toxic for the humans, I would presume, or?
Yes, because it also has aluminum. And a lot of people will tell you, well, these things aren't horrible in small quantities. It's not small quantities, because when you are putting things above us, the dissipation rates are dependent on weather and climate, but it's getting into the food, it's getting into the soil. And around the world, wastewater treatment plants, when it comes to pharmaceuticals, or these toxicants is what they're called, they are not able to filter them out. So if you're growing organic food, you know, we're going to go back to the plexiglass barriers on our plants. I mean, it's horrible. That's why you can ban it anywhere. We've had states in the United States ban it, and that is great to get the ball rolling. But people really need to wake up to it, irrespective of any political party. It's not okay. And you're seeing a huge increase in neurodegenerative issues like Alzheimer's. It's really difficult for people with respiratory issues and asthma. And people are wondering why they have allergies 24/7, 365.
And I liked what you said about that climate change, or the change we experience in weather. Often we can't disconnect that from these geoengineering activities. Do you want to say something more about that? I mean, how do we feel that? Is there proof or so that is definitely coming from that?
Yes, there are places that openly admitted it. Remember Dubai? And then when people got upset, they retracted it, but the can was already opened. And the issue is, I know this sounds silly, but when you watch movies with time change, they say if you do something and something changes, it changes the ripple throughout time. If you are modifying the weather, you are messing with Mother Nature. And meteorology is a very, very thorough study. And I do know a lot of it because of my profession of plotting hazards. But it does not make sense when you are altering nature where things are not naturally supposed to occur. We had massive flooding in California, and we have a system called HARP that is in the United States. And the same people who demonized me 5-10 years ago are now going, wow, because they're finding it's openly admitted in all of our U.S. documents. The U.S. is absolutely not the only country doing it.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, thank you very much for coming out on that and letting humanity know what's going on. Thank you so much.
Okay, so this is just all a darn shame at the end of the day, okay? So, you know, and the sad thing is when these hurricanes, tornadoes, and what have you, these so-called natural disasters occur, we don't know if it's just a real natural disaster or if it's man-made. And you need to be asking yourselves, why would they be wanting to manipulate the weather? Why would they want to steer a hurricane in a different direction? Well, it's likely money and greed. Now, of course, this is all alleged. Because think about Hurricane Katrina. I absolutely believe that they directed that hurricane to where it went. And I also believe that they absolutely blew up those levees. And they were trying to get those people out of that area because they wanted to come over and take it for themselves. It's all about money and greed. And that's largely what the United States government this is what they're all into as far as I'm concerned. The United States government is based off of greed. And this is why they allow us to eat foods and things that are sold and all of that and approved by the FDA. That's why we're allowed to consume these things, which are absolutely banned in some other countries. Some of these things are banned in other countries. How many of you knew that Ritz crackers, which I used to love, okay, with some dip, Ritz crackers are banned in certain countries? Now, why do you think that is? Why is the United States allowing their citizens, okay, to consume things that are banned in other countries? To consume things that can potentially cause you to have Alzheimer's. Let's talk about that for a second, because one of the things that she said was this stuff that they're putting out to the stratosphere has all of these dangerous chemicals, and some of those chemicals are aluminum. Now, aluminum, and you can look this up for yourself, has been linked to Alzheimer's. Aluminum also messes with the pineal gland. Okay? And then Latasha says the poison white flour. Well, here's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up. Because anything that says bleached, like you can buy bleached white flour in the stores and all of that. Okay? These things are bleached so that when they're on the shelves in these warehouses before purchase, the rats won't eat them. You see, because otherwise the rats would just chew through the packaging and start consuming this stuff. So what you should be asking yourselves, beloveds, is why is it that the rats won't eat it? Because the rats know there's chemicals in it. Okay? They know that there's chemicals in there. So if the rats won't eat it, then why should we? Okay? Think about that. Think about the stuff they feed you in these fast food restaurants like McDonald's. Ever try giving that stuff to your dog? I bet you your dog won't eat it, but you're going to? Okay, we really need to wake up. Why do you think there's such a high rate of cancer in the United States? Most of it is because of the things we consume. Now let's continue. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. So let's talk about this hurricane and what the people are still saying. How they're blaming this on the Biden administration, and rightfully so. And I want you all to pay attention, because after we get done with this part, I'm going to let you all know just how Biden exposed Kabami yesterday. And he did it on purpose. He knew exactly what he was doing. But the question is, why did he expose her? We'll get into that momentarily. But let's go to this next video. Lights up, everyone, please like and share.
Videos that basically I'm going to tell you, it's going to piss you off. So fair warning. In 2023, FEMA has used about $740 million toward different cities and states to help with a migrant crisis that was created by the current administration. For those paying attention, it's not Trump. It's actually...
Now, I want you all to pay attention, okay? Because this is the kind of stuff they're blaming on Trump. You see, it always looks better for them to put the blame on their political opponents. But they accuse Trump of doing that. But didn't I tell you that the Democrats, in fact, do every single thing that they accuse Trump of? There's nothing that Trump does that they themselves don't do. You all need to really be paying attention. But let's continue.
Biden and Harris. Even with that, there's about another $340 million that was left to be allocated in 2023. In 2024, FEMA has already allocated $770 million towards the same exact thing. This money allocation comes from what's called the Emergency Food and Shelter Program. It's a program that's actually designed for American citizens in the case of an emergency food or shelter crisis. During the crisis that happened in Palestine, Ohio, there was a whopping $0 that was given to American citizens during that crisis from FEMA. The wildfires that happened in Maui, those 7,000 residents got about $22 million in like housing assistance and about another $30 million to like rebuild, so a whopping $50 million to rebuild. In North Carolina, where we're seeing all the absolute destruction up there, we have about 13 different military bases that are at the command, including the 82nd Airborne. The 82nd Airborne also has the 18th Airborne, which is probably the most equipped unit to be able to handle these sorts of emergencies. In fact, it's basically why they were created. The Biden administration has been so absolutely bad at this that we're on day 6, and most of these communities in those areas aren't even touched. No one's even seen anybody from FEMA. The Biden-Harris administration has authorized a whopping $750 to help and assist people that are up in North Carolina. These people have no power, no internet, no way to even access the money because most of them don't even have access to a bank right now. It's another reminder that the federal government is not coming to save you. You need to save yourself. You need to plan for yourself, especially with this sort of incompetent administration that we have at hand. Most of the assistance that people are seeing that is actually heading up into the area is all coming from private citizens. People like, that evil Elon Musk that owns X. Elon Musk, along with Trump and others, have already activated his SpaceX program, Starlink, to actually help out those in need in those areas. And he's made it free to people in those areas. Just a reminder, the federal government was allocated about $47 billion to give internet access to people in rural areas. There's been a whopping 0 people that have been actually helped through that program. For a fraction of that cost, we could have given every single person in a rural community Starlink access. But I'm not done. This administration so far this year has given $24.4 billion to Ukraine, $11.3 billion to Israel, $1.9 billion to Ethiopia, $1.6 billion to Egypt, $1.4 billion to Jordan, $1.1 billion to Afghanistan, and about another $1 billion to Yemen, Congo, Syria, and Somalia, otherwise known as Minnesota. And if that hasn't pissed you off enough, it's about $6,000 per illegal immigrant that has come into this country. If you're not pissed off at this administration, then I don't know what else to say to you.
Okay. Now, if you want this to continue, then you go right ahead and vote for Kamala Harris because all you're going to get is more of the same. She is absolutely tied to Biden. Biden proved that with his comments yesterday. At the end of the day, you're going to get more of the same. And I've been telling you this. I have been telling you this. Now, let's go to this next video. And after this, we got to get into it. Okay, likes up, everyone. Please like and share.
So the media is actively lying about this being a Trump claim because yesterday I saw this on 3 different news sources. This unfortunately is the New York Post. This is the only screenshot I took. I know this because I was researching for a video and I read 3 different articles. None of them really made sense. And now today I'm waking up to see it's like misinformation. Like, no, it's not you, the one who told us this. Now when I go to look for those articles, they're buried now because this has now become like a conspiracy theory or whatever. I say they're clearly doing it to cause division, but also I'm now seeing also a lot of Democrats and liberals and leftists making incredibly obnoxious and like smarmy videos about like, do you know how the government works? Sort of excusing an atrocious tardy response. Are you guys aware that this happened last Thursday? Like, there's a person who's sitting somewhere right now with a collapsed lung who's like in a mud coffin. You guys are telling people basically to like shut up. They're gonna get $750. And you're saying this because you're like desperate for Kamala Harris to win. I can tell that's what it's about. You like don't want the administration to look bad. The administration is doing a terrible job, and you trying to excuse that is absolutely atrocious as you sit inside of your house and are like smarmily telling other people who are genuinely concerned about the lives of other human beings that they should like stand down about it. In fact, I just engaged with a woman on her video where people were like being gentle with her. And like, yeah, well, still this doesn't seem really good. And she's like, well, what are you doing about it? I'm sorry, what are citizens doing about the government not attending to its responsibilities with the money they gave? You're asking what they're doing as if it's their fault and shifting the blame onto them now? Again, you don't get how it works. Like, these people are like dehydrating. This is a terrible response. Have the biggest military, the strongest, most powerful military in the world. It could be flying helicopters over with like heat-seeking technology. They're just getting a check now on Friday. Again, this happened on Thursday of last week. Again, you're just talking down to people who are really concerned and want to ask better from the response. And this is the same thing that you guys are doing with the election. It's like you're blatantly lying so that you can get what you want. and genuinely gaslighting other people. It also makes me wonder if any of you have ever been in a disastrous situation or ever been in need of anything, where like moments are important. Like, no, they're mobilizing, they're getting everything together. No one wants to hear that. Like, what if these were your loved ones? And the media is assuredly trying to be divisive because they clearly have like planted this whole story. If anyone else, I'm shocked that no one else is saying this, because literally, like I said yesterday, I was researching this and I saw many articles that said the same exact thing, that they're now saying is like a Trump conspiracy that he's put into the public. I'm also not saying that they stole from immigration. I'm just saying like the idea came from somewhere. Treating people like they're stupid for something that the news told them is a ridiculous thing just because you didn't see it.
Okay. So yes, absolutely. Like I told you guys, yes, they're trying to make this a Trump thing and say it's a conspiracy theorist. And they think that we're stupid. I want you all to pay attention, because this is how they act, as though we're all fools and idiots. Now, of course, some people are, and that's sad but true. But at the end of the day, if you're doing your due diligence and you have common sense and you use your critical thinking skills, you can see the narrative that's being painted here. You see, they don't call Kabami out on any of her bullshit, but they're always lying about Trump. Now, some of the stuff they say about Trump is absolutely true, but they also lie on him. They said that, they tried to say he was being racist when he said Kamala had not been black or whatever, or she turns black when it's time for elections. We said it first. Why aren't they blaming the black people for saying it? Because they don't want to, because that makes them look bad, or that makes Kamala look bad. Like the same people that she's trying to claim she belongs to are calling her out on her BS. But it is BS. Okay, so I want you all to pay attention. At the end of the day, they want to say the attempted assassinations on Trump were false flags, that it was all staged. But somebody died. And what would be the point for them to fake an assassination attempt twice or even once? What would be the point of doing that? Now, you guys who have been following me since I came to YouTube in 2020, you already know that I told you all 4 years ago that they were going to, that I dreamt, twice I dreamt it, that they were going to assassinate Trump. You guys already know I told you this. So when we see these two assassination attempts, are we surprised? No, we're not, because the Queen's been telling you this since 2020. And I've told you a myriad of times since then. So, and my dreams are very accurate, and you all know that. Okay, but let's continue, because I want you to hear what Hillary Clinton had to say. And I also want you all to see these people riding in on donkeys, bless their hearts, trying to help these people that are down here suffering. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Now, here's Hillary. I almost called her Hillary again. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. And here she is talking about censorship. She doesn't want people speaking the truth. Del Monte Greenbean says, might as well get a Madden tournament in the chat. Ladies as well. Okay? Thank you, beloved, for your contribution to the channel. And thanks for the other contributions. Peace, love, and blessings. Now let's get into this, because when they talk about, Trump taking away democracy, first of all, this isn't a democracy. This is a republic. But second of all, how are they going to say Trump's trying to take away democracy when the fact of the matter is it's the Democrats, and yes, I said Democrats, it is them who wants to censor people, who don't want us to be able to speak freely about things that are not problematic. Well, it could be problematic for them when we start calling them out on their bullshit, but it's not like we're inciting violence. It's not like we're making threats or anything. They don't want us to say simple things because they don't want us to be able to counter their lies. And when we tell the truth, they will have these fake fact checkers come out and say that, oh, it was debunked, but never telling you or me how it was debunked, never showing proof and receipts and factual evidence that we can see that's tangible as to how certain things were debunked, and then calling us a bunch of conspiracy theorists like we're all fools and idiots and like we just believe anything that we're told or that we see or hear. But that's what they want us to do. They want us to be foolish and believe anything that we see or hear so that they can continue to tell us lies and we not know any better. But we are knowing better. This is the age of Aquarius. So let me tell you something. People are going to start waking up by the masses. Okay? People are going to start waking up by the masses. And when we do, I want you to pay attention because you see, right now, the ones who are running everything, the global elite, the 1% that keep all of us down here bickering amongst ourselves, going in on each other about race and, about who's got money and who doesn't. Okay, it's the rich versus the poor, the black versus the white, and all of this. This is all by design. It's the best strategy they've ever come up with: divide and conquer. Because if we're all fighting amongst ourselves, I keep telling you all, then we're not looking at the real enemy, who is the ones that are in charge, the people that can manipulate the weather, the people that can block out the sun, the people that can make you take things that you don't want to take because they threaten to take away your livelihood and your careers. You all know what I'm talking about with the venom. Now they want to get rid of TikTok because people are finding out so much things on there. And a lot of the information that's on TikTok actually goes there before it is actually even on the lamestream media. Because guess why? The lamestream media doesn't want to talk about certain things. But once we start talking about it on social media, then they come out and try to talk about it and act like it's a joke or that we're crazy. And I want you all to pay attention, because do you all remember about 3 years ago, I told you about how the CDC had a zombie apocalypse preparedness program? Who remembers me telling you guys that? And I said to you, why would they have a damn zombie preparedness program unless they think that somebody's going to be turning into zombies around here? And then I said, let's not forget about the man who literally chewed off a man's face in Florida about 10 years ago. And then they said that it was bath salts that he took. And then there was another young man who tried to chew off people's faces. And then they said that he was on drugs. But then there was something that came out where a man said that there was something that was being done, some sort of experiments being conducted. Now, mind you, this is all alleged, but saying that these people were acting like zombies for a reason because of things that had been done and given to them. And remember, when I told you about the Zombie Preparedness Act by the CDC, what happened 3 days later, a few days later? Then it comes on the lamestream media. And they say, well, the CDC has a Zombie Preparedness Act. See, this is how you know they watch my broadcast. Okay, this is how you know they watch my broadcast. And don't be fooled, because even though it may not look like I have a lot of views, a lot of people are seeing the information. You see, they have me shadow banned. So it's never going to show my true amount of subscribers or the true numbers of the views and any of that. And I'm fine with it. But here's the thing. I want you all to pay attention to how we know lamestream media is watching, because after I talked about that zombie preparedness thing that the CDC had, they came on the lamestream media days later talking about it for the first time. And then they tried to laugh it off like it was a darn joke. I said, yeah, they have this. And then basically, they came out saying that, oh, this is really about hurricanes. It's not really about a zombie apocalypse. We just called it that because that's an interesting name. I believe it was Dr. Fauci, who I call Dr. Frauci, if I'm not mistaken, that said something about they used the word zombie because that's real popular in pop culture and people could relate to that. So let's just call it a Zombie Preparedness Act to get people's attention. But we're really talking about hurricanes. Now, I need y'all to make that make sense. If we're talking about hurricanes, then why not just say hurricanes? Because I'm sorry, but quite frankly, the word hurricane always gets my attention because I know that it can bring disaster and it can have people going through what these people are going through right now. So why would they ever need to tell us that it's zombies? Okay, so please don't fall for the bullshit. If they have a zombie preparedness plan in place, which they do, I found it on their website. That's why I reported it to you guys. So if they have that sort of program, you can best believe that it's something more to it than some darn hurricanes. Okay? Now, that's just my 2 cents. But let's go to Hillary, because she's still talking about silencing people, censoring people, and having people not be able to say certain things. And that's because the Democrats don't want the truth being told, and they don't want to be exposed. And I want you all to pay attention, because this whole thing with the Diddy that's going down right now, yeah, there's some of the Democrats involved in it. Okay? Allegedly.
There should be a lot of things done. We should be, in my view, repealing something called Section 230, which gave, platforms on the internet immunity because they were thought to be just pass-throughs, that they shouldn't be judged for the content that is posted. But we now know that that was an overly simple view, that if the platforms, whether it's Facebook or Twitter X or Instagram or TikTok, whatever they are, if they don't moderate and monitor the content, we lose total control. There should be a lot of things done.
Now, you all heard that. You all heard what she just said. So if they don't monitor the content, they lose control. Now think about that. You see, what they're trying to do is control us. Is this a communist regime that we're living in, where they want to monitor and control what is said, what we can read? That's absolutely what it is. Okay, that's what it sounds like. So please pay attention. She wants to be able to dictate what people can and cannot say. Now let's get into this video where Biden exposed Kabami. Now, why would he do it? Why would he ever do it? So let's talk about it. Like up, everyone, please like and share. I'm going to share my screen because Biden just really told a tale yesterday, but it's the same thing that I've already been telling you all. And I'm so glad that he said it, no matter what his reasons are.
Little more than 24 hours ago, Joe Biden did something he had never done before over the entire course of his presidency. He showed up in the White House press briefing room to talk to the media. And guess what he did once he got there? He comprehensively threw Kamala Harris under the bus. Now, as you watch this, remember, Kamala Harris's biggest task has been to craft herself as the change candidate and distance herself from the past 4 disastrous years of the Biden administration.
There have obviously been a number of crises that the country has been facing over the past several days, with the hurricane, with the port strike, with the situation in the Middle East. Can you talk about how your vice president, who is running for the presidency, has worked on these crises and what role she has played over the past several days?
Well, I'm in constant contact with her. She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet. She helped pass all the laws that are being employed now. She was a major player in everything we've done, including I
want you all to pay attention. Are you all hearing this? He said she was a major player in everything that's going on right now and all the laws that have been passed right now. Do you all hear this? He's letting you know that it's not just me. If you're complaining about the policies and everything that's taking place, Kabami was right there with me. She's singing from the same song sheet. Okay? And see, this is what I've been telling you guys. She can try to separate herself from Joe all she wants, but at the end of the day, if she gets in office, it's going to be more of the same. Okay? It's going to be more of the same. And like I told you, for the Kabami apologists in the chats, support the arts. When I told you guys that if she's got all these big ideas and fancy plans and she's so much about implementing change and all of that and bringing joy, early in the morning joy, like she wants us to think, why hasn't she done this in the past 3.5 years? Why hasn't she done it? And then some of you said, well, Biden's the president. Yes, he is, but she's the vice president. And you don't think that they sit down and have talks and discussions? You don't think that she can give him her ideas if she has an idea that's going to help benefit the nation? And he hasn't come up with it yet? Well, of course. So everything that Biden has done, she has stood right there beside him. And do you not think that she's co-signed it? Well, of course she has. They've worked in unison, in concert, together. Okay? They've been a united front. So when and if she gets in office, she's going to continue to do the same types of tactics. Okay? Please don't be fooled. All right. But let's continue.
Passage of legislation which we were told we could never pass, and so she's been and her staff is interlocked with mine in terms of all the things we're doing.
You see what he did there? He drove the whole bus thump thump right over her and then beep 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 right back over her again, thunk. Kamala's been right there with him every step of the way. But oh wait, it turns out that there's more that Biden pulled this stunt just as Harris was about to make a major address about a port strike, thus completely overshadowing her. Now, of course, this caused our good friends at CNN to have a little bit of a meltdown. Have a look.
I do have a note, and I'm curious what you think about this. We were actually about to go live to Vice President Kamala Harris, who's speaking right now in Detroit, Michigan. And apparently she's talking about this port strike ending. She's trying to appeal to union workers. And yet you have the president of the United States come out clearly overshadowing her, answering significant questions. Is that a communications mistake? Is the left hand not talking to the right hand in this situation?
That's a very good point. And if they were coordinated, as you assume they would be, this would not have happened.
Well, you know what? I don't think that was an accident or miscommunication at all. I think this was Joe Biden very much trying to make sure that Kamala Harris is still burdened by what has been, namely the last 3.5 years of the Biden administration. Because Joe Biden, my friends, is so bitter about being pushed out of the race that he would rather see her lose than help her out.
And that's likely true. He likely would rather see her lose than to help her out at the end of the day. I want you all to pay attention. But hold on. Because speaking of Kabami, let's talk about it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, as I told you guys, Kamala has been, talking about women's reproductive rights and all that. And, she's supposedly a proponent of women and all of that, right? And empowering women. So we're going to get into her husband in just a second. But before we do, let's talk about this. Because remember how I told you guys, they said Trump said he would deport anyone. Okay, Tanya C is right on time with her comment. Tanya says Trump said he would deport anyone that's here illegally. Yes, he did. And as far as I'm concerned, he should. As far as I'm concerned, he should. If you want to come here, come correct. Okay? Come correct. Because I don't like the fact that people who come here breaking federal laws are being given all these benefits and tangibles that people who've been here and are struggling cannot seem to get. And then there's no money left for people in a disaster when a disaster hits. But they've made sure they fed those immigrants and given them thousands of dollars in food stamps and cash and given them places to stay. And some of these immigrants have been allowed, mind you, to have jobs with law enforcement. Did you all know that? Did you all know that? I have a whole lot of questions. But anyway, aside from that, let's talk about it. Because recently there was an article that came out, and I told you all about it, where they said that Trump was going to send back all these Haitians to Venezuela. Now, what he actually said, because I played the video so you all could hear it for yourselves. He said he was going to send people back to Venezuela. Why would he send Haitians to Venezuela? Now, mind you, I'm not saying that Trump wouldn't send the Haitians back. Of course he would. He said he'd send all of these illegal people back. He said it would be a massive deportation. Mass deportations. That's what he said. That's what he said. But at the end of the day, here's what they're not saying. This is what they don't tell you. Del Monte Green Bean said, Kamala's name is Captain Pinto Bean from now on. Thank you, beloved, for your insight to the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Lillian X says, you told us, Queen. Okay, Sierra says, they lie so bad. Goodness Rated Boat says, Biden signed for the Haitians to be here legally. Well, here's what Biden did. Let's talk about it. Because I have my receipts. Okay, I have my receipts. Now, Biden and Kabami, they love to talk about other people, but they do the same thing. U.S. deports about 50 Haitians to nation hit with gang violence, ending months-long pause of fights. Now, the Biden administration, and mind you, this is from this year. This is from this year in April. The Biden administration sent about 50 Haitians back to their country on Thursday, according to authorities, marking the first deportation flight in several months to the Caribbean nation struggling with surging gang violence. Now, the Homeland Security Department said in a statement that it will continue to enforce U.S. laws and policy throughout the Florida Straits and the Caribbean region, as well as the southwest border. U.S. policy is to retain or return non-citizens who do not establish a legal basis to remain in the United States. Now, authorities didn't offer details of the flight beyond how many deported Haitians there were aboard. Thomas Cartwright of Witness at the Border, an advocacy group that tracks flight data, said a plane left Alexandria, Louisiana, a hub for deportation operations, and arrived in Cape Haitian, Haiti, after a stop in Miami. Now, Marjorie Dorsonville, a U.S. citizen, said her Haitian fiance, Gerson Joseph, called in tears from the Miami airport Thursday morning to say he was being deported on a flight to Cap Haitian with other Haitians and some from other countries, including the Bahamas. He promised to call when he arrived. Now, I want you all to pay attention because this is Biden and Kabami doing this. See, they're sending back the black immigrants. Okay, please pay attention. They're sending back the black immigrants. Okay, marinate on that. All right? Because while the Democrats are sitting here putting out this information that, oh, Trump's going to send back the Haitians, well, that's what you're already doing. That's what you're already doing, Democrats. But let's continue because I got time today. Now, that being said, Joseph lived in the U.S. for more than 20 years and has a 7-year-old U.S. citizen daughter with another woman. He had a deportation order dating from 2005 after losing an asylum bid that his attorney, Philip Issa, said was a result of poor legal representation at the time. This is all so sad. He tried to be legal, but alas, it didn't work out. Now, though Joseph wasn't deported previously, his attorney was seeking to have the order overturned. Joseph was convicted of theft and burglary and ordered to pay restitution of $270. He had been detained since last year. Well, he did commit a crime. Sorry, didn't know that, but let's continue. Now, Dorsonville said her fiance has nobody in Haiti. It is devastating for me. We were planning a wedding and now he's gone. More than 33,000 people fled Haiti's capital in a span of less than 2 weeks as gangs pillaged homes and attacked state institutions, according to a report last month from the UN's National Organization for Migration. Now, the majority of those displaced traveled to Haiti's southern region, which is generally peaceful compared with Port-au-Prince, which has an estimated population of 3 million and is largely paralyzed by gang violence. Okay, so like I told you guys, and I'll continue to tell you that at the end of the day, the Biden administration, the Democrats in general, they collectively do the same thing that they accuse the Republicans and Trump of doing. Now I'm going to go to a video where they actually talk about this gang violence in Haiti that these people are having to deal with. No good options. Biden administration has no plans to change how it treats Haitian migrants despite outrage from advocates. Okay, so let's talk about it because this is the Democrats that some of y'all love. Okay? This is the Democrats that some of y'all love. You see that title?
As the desperation in Haiti grows, the Biden administration is under pressure to act. Ellison Barber went into Haiti. And Ellison, what are you learning?
Lester, tonight we're learning that more than 480 human rights organizations have asked or pushing for a new designation of temporary protected status for Haitians in the United States, as well as a pause on deportations. But despite that growing pressure, 3 U.S. officials tell NBC News the Biden administration has no plans of changing course.
Violence in Port-au-Prince is relentless. Police and gangs battling it out in the streets of Haiti's capital city as innocent people hide and run for cover. We traveled to the country's north.
Where we are, it's more than 5 hours away by car from Port-au-Prince.
Within the gates of Mission Life International's orphanage and birthing center, you don't hear gunfire. You hear children laughing, playing, dreaming.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
She says she wants to be a doctor. Outside of the birthing center, mothers are waiting to check in. Sarah L. is just 3 months old. She's John's 4th child, the first girl.
Do the brothers like having a sister?
She tells us she's a nurse, but she doesn't have a job right now. She has a pharmacy, but these days doesn't sell much, and supplies are hard to come by.
You can see they have stuff here, but it is a bit sparse. That is in part because most of the ports in this country are currently controlled by gangs, and that means getting aid in to people who need it the most, medical supplies to places like this. It's very difficult.
For all of the families here, finding clean drinking water or affordable food is a Herculean feat.
Worried that you might not be able to keep your kids safe.
Every day, she tells me, every day, we pray God will keep us safe.
Haiti can be fixed by Haitians.
They say they do not want to live in a Haiti like this.
We need help.
They want some help from the international community to reestablish security, but ultimately they tell us true change will come from Haitians. We don't like people to give us fish. Teach us how to fish, Jean tells me.
Because Haitians are able to do it themselves.
Yes. Ellison Barber, NBC News.
Okay, now Anita Harrell says, I bet the reason they're sending the Haitians back is because they believe the rumor they're eating cats. No, beloved. Listen, beloved, this information that I'm showing you, this happened in April of 2024, beloved, before anybody said anything about cats. They're not doing this because they believe rumors about cats. The Biden administration is doing this because they want to. What you should be asking yourself is why they're sending Haitians back, but not the Guatemalans, not the Venezuelans, okay? Not the Mexicans. That's what you should be asking yourself. Why is it that there was a Mexican woman in a bodega that left her receipt on the counter saying that she had $13,000 left, a balance of food stamps, and about $4,000 as a balance on her EBT card? But they're sending the Haitians back. Southwest Houston, Texas says Black immigrants are treated differently. That's the point. Exactly. So while the Democrats are sitting here trying to tell you that Trump's going to send back these Haitians, they've been doing it themselves already. Who are they to talk? Okay? Who are they to talk? And Trump said he was sending all of these illegal people back, not just Haitians, but it looks like the only ones they're sending back are the Haitians. Okay, please pay attention. Please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, as I keep telling you all, these people just do the most. This is what they do. They do the most, and they've been bashed by these activists that have come out and spoken about how they've been treating these Haitian migrants. But that hasn't stopped anything. Okay? So now, let's talk about, hold on, there's one more video I want to show you all. This man's talking about if Trump is not your next president elected, America, listen to this because this sounds like a whole threat now. This guy says, and he's Middle Eastern, he says if Trump, or at least he looks Middle Eastern, but he says if Trump is not your next president, you can kiss America goodbye. That's what he said. Said if Trump's not the next president, we can kiss America goodbye. Well, what's he getting at here? So let's get into it. And then we're going to talk about Kibami's nefarious husband.
America, your only hope is Donald Trump. Your only hope is Mr. President Donald Trump, period. If Trump is not your next elected president, you can kiss America goodbye, because the people that are running it currently are nothing but traitors and evildoers. And even though Mr. Trump is a human being and very weak, like all of us, and I'm the weakest of all, but take this from the Lord Jesus. Maybe one day I get the chance to meet Mr. Trump, because I want to say to him a few things behind closed doors. America.
All right. Well, you all heard that. You all heard that. Now, what's he saying here? You see, here's the thing. I told you guys that nobody's going to take Kibami serious. How could anyone? I told you, how do you all think that these leaders, these male leaders from these other countries, how do y'all think they're going to take her seriously? Okay, we can't even take her seriously. So how could they? All right, with all the cackling, the word salad that she continues to spew. Okay, her looking like she's lost in the sauce when speaking on occasion. How are they going to take us seriously? Okay? Support the Arts says Trump would send us back if he could. That's what I think. Well, maybe he would, but he can't send me anywhere. Okay? He can't send African Americans anywhere. Because the thing is, most of us are indigenous to this land. Most of us are indigenous to this land. And see, here's the thing about the United States, beloved. When they have these Black immigrants come over here from Jamaica, Haiti, Trinidad, and different places, they usually tend to treat them better than they treat us. Now, I'm talking about the ones who are here legally. They tend to treat them better than they treat African Americans. And why is that? They give them grants. They give them business loans and grants and all of that. This is how they come here with nothing and they build up businesses and then look at us like we're crazy and lazy and say, oh, well, y'all have been here. How come y'all don't have your own businesses? Well, that's because the government doesn't give us the same things that they give these foreigners who come here who look like us. And the reason, it's a very good reason for that. And the reason is because they know that if these people start getting out of pocket, they can just pack them up, put them on a plane and send them back from whence they came. They cannot send us anywhere. They cannot send us anywhere. So if we just started obtaining all of this wealth, generational wealth, and just started putting ourselves on their level and they can no longer keep their foot on our necks, they can no longer oppress us, well, then that would be a problem for them. And so to keep from causing themselves what they would deem as a problem, they just keep us held back. Okay, they give things freely to other people who have no stake in this country, but deny the things to us like reparations whose ancestors, in fact, built this country for free. Okay, so that's what they do. Now let's talk about Doug Emhoff because he has allegations. All right, he has nefarious allegations, and I'm just trying to figure out how in the world the Democrats kept this under the rug because actually it's all coming out now. Is this what Hillary was talking about when she said there's going to be a story coming out and they're going to try to demonize Kabami in October? Because this was reported October the 4th. Doug Emhoff assault allegations, what we know and what we don't. So Vice President Kamala Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, has been accused of slapping a former girlfriend more than a decade ago. Okay, Emhoff has denied the allegations. Now, he did admit that he cheated with a nanny, though. Now, the second gentleman allegedly struck the woman in the face while waiting in a valet line after an event during the Cannes Film Festival in France in May of 2012. 3 unnamed friends gave this information to the outlet. So apparently there were witnesses. The outlet has a right-wing bias, according to All Slides, which estimates the perceived political bias of content on online news outlets. Now, they say the woman had been dating Emhoff for about 3 months at the time of the alleged assault. A spokesperson for Emhoff said that the report is untrue, and any suggestion that he would or has ever hit a woman is false. Okay, and this is what they say. And they say they contacted Emhoff as well as Harris's office and campaign for a comment via email. Now, they say the Daily Mail did not name the woman, but instead used the pseudonym Jane and described her only as a successful New York attorney. However, a video from the event shows a woman in a red dress with Emhoff, and screen grabs were posted on social media by Sean Davis, who's the CEO and co-founder of The Federalist, a conservative online magazine. Now, the friends who spoke to the outlet were also not named, which Daily Mail said was because they were afraid of retaliation. And as they should be, because if Doug Emhoff and Kamala Kabami Harris are anything like Bill and Hillary Clinton, they should be very afraid. They should be very afraid. Now, the report came as Emhoff, an entertainment attorney, has been hitting the campaign trail in support of Harris. If she wins the presidency in November, he will be the nation's first gentleman. The alleged assault is said to have occurred more than a year before Harris and Emhoff met on a blind date set up by a mutual friend in 2013, and they married in 2014. Now, Jane's friends told the Daily Mail that she had received tickets to attend the Foundation for AIDS Research Gala, an AIDS Research Gala dinner, which was held on May the 24th of 2012 at the Hotel de Cap in Antibes near Keynes, and brought Emhoff as her guest. They provided photos of the woman posing with Emhoff at the gala, as well as documentation with details about her trip to the south of France around the time of the alleged assault. One friend told the DailyMail.com that Jane had called him sobbing shortly after the alleged assault and then said, "I didn't know whether to call the French police. I couldn't get a hold of her after calling back," he says. It was not clear if the alleged assault was reported to authorities. Now, the friend said Jane had provided details in later conversations. It was something like 3 a.m. They were trying to get out of there, and they both had been drinking. There was a gigantic line for taxis. So she went up to one of the valet guys, offered him 100 euros or whatever to get ahead of the line. She told me that she put her hand on his shoulder. Doug apparently thought she was flirting and came over and slapped her in the face. And she slapped him back. Well, good for her if he did it. Now, the friend said Jane had told him she ended the relationship with Emhoff that night. A second friend, a female attorney, told the Daily Mail that Jane had also told her about the alleged assault. She was completely caught off guard, the friend says. He hauled up and slapped her so hard she spun around. She said that she was in utter shock. She was so furious. She slapped him on one side and then on the other cheek with the other hand. Now, the third friend said Jane had first told her in 2014 that she had dated Emhoff and detailed the alleged assault in 2018, when Harris, then a senator, was making headlines about her questioning of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh over allegations of sexual misconduct during his confirmation hearing. Now, the allegations came after Emhoff acknowledged in August that he did have an affair during his marriage to Kristen Emhoff, after alleged details about it were published in the DailyMail.com. Now, the outlet reported that Emhoff had an affair with a woman who was a nanny to his children and taught at their school. And says, "During my first marriage, Kirsten and I went through some tough times on account of my actions." Now, this is what Doug says. "I took responsibility, and in the years since, we worked through things as a family and have come out stronger on the other side." Well, apparently they weren't so strong because they're no longer together, and he's with Kabami. Now, Kirsten Emhoff, a film producer, also issued a statement defending Doug. She said, "Doug and I decided to end our marriage for a variety of reasons many years ago. He's a great father to our kids and continues to be a great friend to me, and I am really proud of the warm and supportive blended family Doug and Kamala and I have built together." Now, the pair were married in 1992 and have 2 children, Kola and Ella Emhoff. They divorced in 2010. So with that all being said, here's the thing. Now, this nanny also allegedly claimed to have been impregnated by Doug Emhoff, and then says that she lost the baby. Okay? And says that she lost the baby, and then said that there was some alleged, this is all alleged, says that there was some fists flying around the time that she lost it. Okay, so I just want y'all to pay attention. Now, I'm not saying any of this is true. I'm just telling you guys what's been said. So, likes up, everyone, please like and share. And here's the thing. If this is true, then that makes Kabami a whole hypocrite, because she's always acting like she's so down for the women, okay, and talking about reproductive health and all of this and women's rights and blah, blah, blah. Now, Megyn Kelly went in on Doug Emhoff for allegedly hitting his girlfriend. Now, I can't stand Megyn Kelly. I cannot stand Megyn Kelly. But anyway, they say Doug hasn't, at the time of this publication, Doug had not commented on the latest allegations, where the host of Sirius XM podcast, The Megyn Kelly Show, weighed in on the fallout from recent revelations first published by the Daily Mail. Okay, which accused him of assaulting his then girlfriend for flirting with another man. Kelly said that Emhoff sleeping with his child's nanny and impregnating her is just a special is in a special league all of its own. She said that most of us would have left it alone if he hadn't then paraded himself out there and let the media parade himself out there like he was the ideal husband on steroids, or like he is the new version of what it really means to be a man. Now, Kelly made reference to a recent MSNBC interview in which host Jen Psaki fawned over Emhoff for his role in reshaping the perception of masculinity. I want y'all to pay attention. Now, she's sitting up here praising this man when they say that, in fact, he's a whole woman beater. Now, I don't know if he is or not. That remains to be seen, but these are the allegations thus far. Okay, now he did admit to being unfaithful to his first wife. So, did he get the nanny pregnant? Well, I don't know, but that's what the nanny said. Now, the DailyMail.com report also alleged that Emhoff told his then girlfriend, who was the victim of the purported assault in May of 2012, that he admitted to getting the nanny pregnant. Oh, so he did admit to it, supposedly, to getting the nanny pregnant, and that the nanny claimed his aggressive behavior toward her caused her to have a miscarriage. You know, this is all alleged, as far as I'm concerned. Now, Emhoff is reported to have told his then girlfriend that his marriage to Kirsten Emhoff ended because she filed for divorce after learning of the affair with the nanny, whose name is Najeen Naylor. Emhoff divorced in 2010. He married, well, here it says 2009. The other article said 2010, so somewhere around there. He married Kamala Harris, the then Attorney General of California, now the Vice President in 24. Now the Vice President. And they got married in 2014. So everyone, please like and share. I'm about to share this video. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to show this video because I don't want any complaints from ScrewTube. So anyway, it was just Megyn Kelly, what she had to say about all of it. Now, Emhoff is reported to have told his then girlfriend that the marriage to his first wife had ended. So Megyn Kelly blasted media outlets for failing to give the story widespread coverage. See, here's the thing. They absolutely didn't give it widespread coverage. And that's why I asked you guys, I said, how the hell did they sweep this under the rug? But that's exactly what they did. Meanwhile, they're bringing out all this stuff on Trump and anybody else they can find something on. Now I'm hearing that RFK Jr. has been accused of something nefarious. Let me just see if I can pull that up. Because what it looks like to me is that the Democrats go after anybody who opposes them. Okay, that's what it looks like. Hold on, beloveds. RFK Jr. text apology to sexual assault accuser. Do you all remember that story from July of 2024? Said that he apologized to the woman who accused him. This is all crazy. Tanya said this is treason. Said this is treason. Okay, so anyway, like I said, it's a whole lot of nefariousness going on here. And if these things about Doug Emhoff are in fact true, that just makes Kamala such a hypocrite to me. Okay, this just makes her such a hypocrite, acting like she's so down for women and all of that. And I want you all to think about how when she was discussing those black women that she had locked up for truancy because her children weren't going to school or whatever, and then she laughed about it when she was talking about it. And she said, well, you know, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, she said something like, well, you know, people need an education. Well, yeah, they do. But if someone's child has sickle cell anemia and is in excruciating pain, and they have all of these other medical and health conditions that prohibits them from being able to come to school on a regular basis, shouldn't that, in fact, be taken into account? Or should you just lock the mother up, throw her in a cell, and then say to hell with her? She should have sent her child to school. Is that how that's supposed to work? So I just want you all to pay attention because, you know, we are really facing a lot this upcoming election. They tell us every election cycle that this is the most important election of our lives. Do they not tell us that? Now, as you're contemplating who you're going to vote for, and I already told you that I'm voting for Dr. Shiva, but As you're contemplating who you're going to vote for, you should really be thinking about your own best interests. You should really be thinking about who's going to do what and who hasn't done anything and who's shown you that they'll do a better job. Because we've already had Kamala in office. She may not have been the president, but she absolutely was the vice president who sat right there beside the president. And as Biden said himself, which I'd already told you, she was in cahoots. They did these things together. They sang from the same song sheet. The laws that are out, that have been implemented, that are here right now in full effect, she signed off on them. That's what Joe Biden said. You heard it for yourself. Okay, you heard that for yourself. So with that all being said, if you really don't think that Kamala's going to do more of the same, if you really think that she's the candidate for change and she's going to bring joy to the world, then you need to wake up. You absolutely need to wake up because the signs are all there. You see, anytime they have to start painting narratives for a particular candidate, you can already see where that's going. Okay? I absolutely believe that she'll be the next president, but not because the voters put her in there. Not because the voters put her in there, but the Electoral College. And I want you all to remember this when the time comes. November the 5th. I want you all to remember when and if she does win, that I told you it will be by the Electoral College that she gets in. I feel like it's already in the works, is all I'm saying. So with that all being said, everyone please like and share this video, subscribe to the channel, okay? Let's think about, prayers out to the hurricane victims, the people that are still struggling. My family down in Louisville, Georgia, they still don't have power. I can imagine the devastation that the people in North Carolina are still going through. This is all very sad and tragic. And what's even more tragic is the fact that these people are not able to get adequate supplies. They're not able to get adequate resources. And that people literally had to ride in on donkeys to try and help these people. That a man who was on his own plane that came in to help was threatened with arrest. That the men that I showed you all the video of, who in fact saved a newborn baby and an 87-year-old elder, the fact that they were questioned as if they were under interrogation. Okay? This is all crazy. Hold on. Now I see something. Hold on, you guys. Let me see if I need to show you all this real quick.
They're saying doesn't have the right to speak on this motherfucking government. 9 times out of 10.
Okay, so this lady is going in. This lady is going in on Joe Biden and Kamala. Okay, she is clearly going in on them. Hold on. I'm going to have to share this video. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Give me a second so I can log back into Twitter. I was just looking at this on my phone. It just popped up. Because it looks to me like a whole lot of people who look like me are none too thrilled with Kabami and Joe Biden. Okay, that's what it looks like to me. Hold on, let me see what Support the Arts said. Support the Arts, beloved. I know you're not happy with the Queen's commentary. I just have to tell it like it is, beloved. It says, I would vote for you over Trump. Thank you, beloved. I would hope that you would. And you should also vote for me over Kabami. You see, at the end of the day, I would do the right thing if in office. And now sitting here looking at this situation, I absolutely wish that I had run for president. Okay? I think I would have made a marvelous president. Please pay attention. Please pay attention. Okay, so with that, and I'm not even joking. Okay? I am not even joking. Now, with that all being said, let's go to this last video. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Here we go.
You're joking, right? Hi, my name is Cosmopolitan. My degrees are in political science, legal studies of the Constitution, criminal law, philosophy with a concentration in ethics. Blah, blah, español. My degrees come from the University of Cape Town in South Africa, the University of Roehampton in England, and Manhattanville College in New York. Anybody and everybody that currently is stitching Officer Yudi, as well as Mama Todd, saying they don't have the right to say what they're saying, doesn't have the right to speak on this motherfucking government. 9 times out of 10, I could currently put you on a hotspot and currently offer you $1 million. You wouldn't be able to recite your constitution if your life depended on it. But you have the audacity and the caucasity to comment on these two big creators that are speaking their mind about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. As somebody from North Carolina, I'm just curious, what the fuck are you doing? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris didn't make one visit to Georgia, Tennessee, or North Carolina. $167 million was signed at the same time that a 750 credit was given to the American people that they have to apply for, with no power, no electricity, or anything else in between. But your fucking Kamala Harris went to California and Joe Biden made sure that they had 750. Oh, don't forget the 1,000 troops that they're about to send. What the fuck is 1,000 troops going to do for over 60,000 people without power? We've got 1 million struggling. Joe, Lloyd Austin, and Kamala Harris signed off on 43,000 troops at the same time as Helene going off, being sent to the Middle East, as if we need a war right now. Some of you creators that think you are currently doing something for politics are just doing the same shit that you're complaining about. Bitching. I don't give a fuck how big your account is. I don't give a fuck how big of a creator you are. I will shut this shit down and embarrass the fuck out of you if you keep going out of your way showing that 60% of American people don't read above a 6th grade reading level. If you are black going after Yudi or Mama Tot over what they said about Joe Budden and fucking Kamala Harris, there were black people in North Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee. I wonder why you don't see them on the fucking screen.
Okay. Now y'all heard that. Y'all heard that, and she was going in. She's very upset. Okay. Now, she said this isn't the first time that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have dropped the ball. Okay. And there's no lies detected. There is no lies detected. At the end of the day, this is all very sad. And here's the thing. I was telling my mother last night, when they're showing the devastation of the hurricanes, why aren't they showing the black people? Have you all noticed that? Why aren't they showing the black people that have been devastated by this hurricane? At the end of the day, they're not showing them. Are you all paying attention to this? You should ask yourselves why. But let's let her finish, because she's on a whole rant.
Mama Tot over what they said about Joe Budden and fucking Kamala Harris. There were black people in North Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee. I wonder why you don't see them on the fucking screens. This isn't the first time that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have dropped the ball on showing their respect to American people. Fuck y'all. 20 black people in the first year of working for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris decided to quit. You don't talk about that. 3 black soldiers, U.S. soldiers, were killed in Jordan, and they don't mention their names once in an airstrike. You don't talk about that. We lost hundreds of Americans in the evacuation of Afghanistan, and there was no evacuation because we still have military bases being hit there. And this situation in Lebanon, Iran, and all the other countries that Israel is dealing with is something that Joe Biden conjured up in 1973 to 1999 and situated it through finishing the final addings of countries into NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which only had 18 countries when he was senator at 1991, and Senate gets to decide who's in those agreements. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are a disgrace to this country. And if you haven't looked up Kamala Harris's family tree to understand what the fuck Candace Owens just came across after speaking to her family, Kamala Harris is lying to you straight into your face. So do me a favor. If you think that somebody speaking their mind, which falls under the freedom of speech, is currently going against misinformation or is misinformation, bring it to me. But again, if you stitched Officer Yudi or Mama Tot, and I see your video up currently promoting Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in this situation, I'm going to make sure every single person that was hit by Helene currently takes down your fucking video and anything else.
Well, y'all heard that. She is laser focused and she is no holds barred, and she is clearly going in. And I'm sorry, but I didn't hear one lie. Okay, I did not hear one lie, not a one. Now I want you all to pay attention, because at the end of the day, Joe Biden nor Kabami don't give a darn about this country, only about themselves. Okay? Only about themselves. You all need to be paying attention. Why haven't you heard about the black soldiers that died in the airstrike? Why haven't you heard about it? You don't know their names? Why hasn't anyone said anything about it? Why haven't they been showing the faces of the black people devastated by this hurricane? Why haven't they said a thing? My aunt told me that trees were falling left and right. There were trees falling on people's houses. There was flood waters in the houses. They don't have power. I mean, this is just all a catastrophe. And at the end of the day, Joe Biden and Kabami want us to think that Trump is the liar. Let me just tell you what Joe posted. Let me just tell you what Joe Biden posted. Hold on. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Joe Biden posted this. As a matter of fact, let me just send this to my TikTok account so I can show it on the screen. This is all a damn shame. Okay, that's what it is. It's a damn shame. Please pay attention. Now, here's what Biden posted. I'm about to share the screen. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. We'll be out of here in just a minute, folks. You all see that? Hold on. Okay, Joe Biden posted this 20 hours ago. Once again, Donald Trump is a liar. He's the guy who redirected relief funds as president. We're moving heaven and earth to make sure that everyone affected by Hurricane Helene gets what they need. Really? Well, you haven't moved heaven and earth for my damn family. Okay, that's down there in Louisville, Georgia, with no damn power for days now. You haven't moved heaven and earth for them. What about the people in North Carolina that are still walking through floodwaters? And here's the thing. This man said that you can literally smell the death in the air when you go down there. He seems to think that they're lying about the amount of people that have lost their lives. Says that you can literally smell the death in the air. Okay, you can't make this up. But we're supposed to sit here and listen to Kabami and Biden? This is a sad day, folks. And at the end of the day, I want you all to pay attention because the Democrats are doing everything in their power. You see, they're not moving heaven and earth to try to salvage or help the people that have been affected by this disaster called Hurricane Helene. What the Democrats are moving heaven and earth to do is to stop Kabami from being exposed for exactly who and what she is. They're trying to stop it from being known that she's going to do the same thing that her and Biden have done while they've been in office. And that's nothing but make a disaster of everything and make our lives a living hell. Okay? That's what they're trying to move heaven and earth to do. Because they want her to be so in the office so desperately. But hold on, because here's another video. I promise this will be the last one, hopefully. This is someone going in on Doug Emhoff. Now, hold on. Let me make sure there's no music in this. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you. Okay, so now with that all being said, this video's got music in it, but I'm going to go ahead and play it anyway because I've got music playing myself. So hopefully that'll avoid a copyright claim. But even if it does, hey, y'all need to hear it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Two of y'all are brain dead or asleep. So I'm just going to assume that y'all are asleep and don't know who this is. And if you don't know, that's okay, because I'm going to tell you. But that man is married to this woman. Okay, let's start there. And that man is a big shareholder in that. And if you really need me to connect the dots, that is the company that wants to go into North Carolina and mine lithium for batteries and such things. It's powered for our phones, etc. And it should be as clear as quartz now that I've connected the dots. So let me know what you think. Because if I've shared this with you and you watch it and you don't respond to it, I'm sorry, something's wrong with you.
Yeah, people need to wake up. Rifle in Christ says Tulsi Gabbard took her own helicopter there and filmed how bad it is. They're saying they saw bodies getting washed up from the river and at their front doors. This is absolutely horrific, you guys, and I told you all this. Let me see if I can find the video of Tulsi Gabbard. I absolutely love this lady. I absolutely love this lady. Hold on. Okay, so here's her video. I'm going to share my screen.
With getting ahead.
Just touched down. We were able to get on a helicopter so we could get a bird's eye view of the Lake Lure and Chimney Rock area.
This is the whole team right here for the town.
Sorry for everything that's happened. And it's hard to put into words what that devastation is and what it's going to take for them to even begin to start thinking about rebuilding. It's going to be a long road ahead.
So this is the operation. We're so fortunate to be so loved by everybody. We haven't had a natural disaster like this in Western North Carolina in a very long time. So the outpouring is amazing. And as you can see, volunteers galore. And it's just, so heartfelt.
It is incredible how far people traveling to come here, both to help but also to get the supplies they need.
To help from all over Florida, Michigan, the Northeast. They're driving a certain amount of distance to come here. As far as a volunteer, all over South Carolina and Eastern North Carolina, Georgia.
The rebuilding here is just going to be so expensive.
Yeah.
I own the Chimney Rock Inn.
Okay.
A third of the back is missing, completely wiped out.
See where the blue styrofoam is at?
Yep.
Our apartment was right under that. Everything
Wow.
was completely. You got the mountains around, everything gets funneled in there. And so you get this raging torrent, wall of water, 20, 40 feet deep. It comes down the river, rock, mud, trees, houses, buildings, and it's just like a giant bulldozer slamming everything. It just kind of clears it all out.
But anything you can do to keep us alive. I don't know what kind of water. We got water MREs. We got some of that stuff. We're ready for the apocalypse. We need help building this road back. We need a big retaining wall. We need the park reopened. We need this road all the way up. That's the kind of help we need. We got chainsaws. We got water. We need structure.
Yep. Appreciate my best.
We definitely appreciate you being here, though.
Well, that's, the smallest thing we can do is just trying to lift up your voices, your stories, and what the needs.
Okay, so shout out to Tulsi Gabbard for helping. Let me just tell you guys something. Goodness Rated Bo says they would send Haitians back all the time. Biden was the only one to make an agreement for the Haitians. Let me just tell you something about that, beloved. Yeah, Biden did make an agreement for the Haitians, but let me just tell you something, okay? Because what we need to do here is we need to start seeing past the smoke and mirrors, okay? We need to start seeing the truth of what is right in front of our faces, right in front of our eyes. Biden doesn't give a damn about the Haitians. Here's the thing. I want you to pay attention because I'm going to tell you why Biden came up with an agreement. Hold on. Let's get into it. I was about to end this live, but I just got my second win. So hold on for a second. You all see this? Haitian American activists bash Biden for resuming Haitian deportations. Okay, please pay attention. Now, that being said, this was April of 2024, as I told you guys. Okay? All this stuff that I'm reporting about the Haitians and Biden's administration with him and Kabami is from April of 2024. That's the articles. There's several articles, but here's the thing. This is what you're talking about. This is what you're talking about. Hold on. Now, you said Biden made the agreement, right? Yeah, he did. And here it is right here. Please pay attention. Biden moves to protect hundreds of thousands of Haitians from deportation. Okay, this came out June of 2024. After April, he just sent people back. Now, why is it that in June, all of a sudden, Biden wants to help the Haitians and protect the Haitians? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Because it was getting close to the election time. And that is to not lose favor from people who look like me. Okay, that's what that was. That's what that was. Okay, this is before he dropped out of the race. At the end of the day, Biden knew what he was doing. Him and Kabami don't do anything until they want our damn votes. When are you going to wake up and realize this? Oh, Biden's trying to help the Haitians. No, he's not trying to help anyone. He was trying to help himself at the time. Okay, he was trying to help himself because, see, here's the thing. He not only was sending Haitians back in April of 2024, but also 2022. And I think I may have shown you all that receipt yesterday. Okay? I think I may have shown you all that receipt yesterday that he was sending Haitians back in 2022. So what's he really doing for the Haitians besides nothing? Okay? Please pay attention and don't be fooled at the end of the day. So, and let's not forget how the Haitians were beaten at the borders. All right? Let's not forget any of that. And another thing I want to say to you guys is this. This is what I want to say to you guys. Now, for those of you who may still be under the false pretense, hold on, let me show you all something just for those of you who forgot. Let me just show this real quick because I got to let you guys know. And please watch the comments you put in the chat. Okay? Please don't put anything that's racially sensitive in the chat. Okay, now see this. Patrol agents on horseback did not whip migrants, but used force and inappropriate language, investigators say. Now, I want you all to pay attention to the lie right here. Said they didn't whip the migrants? You mean to tell me that we didn't see them hitting the Haitians with the horse reins? We didn't see that with our own eyes? Now, that was in 2022, July the 8th of 2022, that report came out, right? U.S. border agents chased migrants on horseback. A photographer explains what he saw. Okay, you see that? Now, you can clearly see him hitting that Haitian with that damn whip. Now, of course, what they said at the time was, oh, we didn't beat them with whips. That was the reins for the horses. I'm sorry, what's the difference? If you take a rein and hit the horse with it, it's still a whip. If you take it and hit a person with it, it's still the same. This happened under the Biden-Kabami administration, okay? So please miss me with it. This happened September the 21st of 2021. This is what they did to the Haitians at the border. This is what the Biden administration allowed to be done to them, and they were shipped back from whence they came. But now they want to sit here and cry foul and tell us that Trump's going to send back the Haitians? Well, even if he does, that's what y'all did. Okay, even if he does, that's what y'all already did. So who are they to talk? That's all I'm saying. Images of U.S. Border Patrol agents on horseback chasing Haitian migrants along the Rio Grande are horrific. Okay, the migrants were attempting to return to a camp near the International Bridge in Del Rio, Texas, where thousands of migrants have gathered on the U.S. side of the border river. Many of them carried food they just bought in Mexico. But when the migrants attempted to cross the river and return to the U.S. side of the border, agents used their horses to try to turn them back. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas announced that the agents have been placed in administrative duties while their actions are being investigated. But in another article from Politico, they want to tell us this didn't even happen. No, we didn't beat them. What are you talking about? Beat Haitians? Who did that? Not us. You see? You see what I'm talking about? So yes, it is. Dottie D says the gaslighting is unbelievable. Just stop. Absolutely. Okay, so let's not play games here. And here's another thing I want you all to marinate on. And I'm going to come to a close after this. But listen, when Candace Owens went and spoke with Kamala's supposed family, she was told that, now allegedly, she she was told that these people that Kamala has been parading around like the black grandmother, it's not her grandmother. Okay, that the white grandmother that we saw the picture of is in fact her grandmother, and that the black people were nothing more than the descendants of the Jamaican slaves that they in fact owned. Just as I've been telling you. You see, I didn't have to go talk to Kabami's family to find this out. I already knew because I have common sense and use critical thinking skills. Okay? So with that all being said, I want you all to marinate on this. Now this is going to hurt some of you. It's going to step on some of your toes, support the arts. But here's what I want you all to marinate on. If Kamala Kabami was really a black woman, do y'all really think that so many of the people who don't look like me would be praising her and wanting her to get in office? Y'all can't be crazy. Because remember, all of the stuff that happened when Obama was running. Because unlike Kabami, Obama actually is black. Okay? He actually is. So when Obama was running, do you all not remember how all of these black folks started getting murked by the police at traffic stops? More so than usual. It was at an all-time high. Do you all remember that? Do you all remember how they were calling him and Michelle monkeys and saying Michelle was a man and disparaging her? Do you all remember that? They had all these racist, hateful, mean, evil, wicked, nefarious things to say about Obama. And why would they say these things about him? Because he's black. So if Kabami was really black, do you all think that she'd be garnering all of this praise? Y'all need to wake the hell up. Some of you need to wake the hell up. She's not black, and if she really were, she would not be having all of this stuff done in effort, in my opinion, to protect her, sweeping stuff about her husband under the rug, sweeping facts about her family under the rug, sitting here telling us that, oh, Donald Trump's the one who started these rumors about her not being black. No, we started it, and they're not rumors, they're facts. And for any of you who missed it, as I've told you all before, let me just repeat it for those who missed it. At the end of the day, because you come from Jamaica doesn't mean that you're black. There's multiracial people in Jamaica. It is diverse. And that makes you no more black than it makes Elon Musk or Charlize Theron black from being born in South Africa. They may identify as South Africans, but do they look like me? Do they look like those that we call Africans? No, they do not. So you would sound obtuse to sit there and say that, oh, Elon is black. Elon and Charlize Theron are black. They're from South Africa. What are you talking about? They were born there. You sound ridiculous. You sound just as ridiculous as if you would say, if I had been born in China and you said, oh, the queen is Chinese. She's not black. She's actually Chinese. She was born in China. That's how ridiculous you'd sound. Okay? That's how ridiculous you'd sound. If Kamala was really black, the people who don't look like me, some of them still would vote for her. But I'm just telling you, look at how many people, in comparison to those that were praising Obama, are praising Kabami. Okay? I just want y'all to marinate on that. At the end of the day, she ain't black. She ain't like us. And this ain't Trump saying it. It's me saying it. And I said it way before Trump ever did. And so did a whole bunch of you. But they want to blame that on Trump because that makes it look better for them, like I keep telling you. So with that all been said, listen, I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, but hold on. I'm sorry. One more thing. I'm sorry. I know I keep saying it, but I got to give you all the Tyre Nichols case update because 3 officers have been convicted of witness tampering in Tyre Nichols' fatal beating, but acquitted of the most serious charge. Okay, so let me just share my screen so you all can get the update on this because I meant to report this to you guys days ago. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Okay, because this is all real crazy. Because these people beat that man to death and they deserve to get the full brunt of consequences. 3 former Memphis police officers were convicted on Thursday in the 2023 fatal beating of Tyre Nichols, but were acquitted of the harshest charges that they faced for a death that sparked national protest and calls for broad changes in policing. Jurors deliberated for about 6 hours before coming back with a mixed verdict for Tardarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith, all Black men, okay? For anyone who missed it. All were convicted of witness tampering related to the cover-up of the beating, but Bean and Smith were acquitted of the civil rights charges. Haley was acquitted of violating Nichols' civil rights causing death, but convicted of the lesser charge of violating his civil rights causing bodily injury. He was also convicted of a conspiracy to witness tamper charge that the others were acquitted of. The court remained silent as the verdicts were read. The judge ordered all 3 officers to be taken into custody. He planned to hold a hearing on Monday to hear from the defense attorneys about releasing them pending sentencing. The witness tampering charges carry possible sentences of up to 20 years in prison. And I hope they get every damn day. Now, the civil rights charge against Haley carries up to 10 years in prison. They had faced up to life in prison if convicted on the harshest charges. The verdict marked a partial setback for prosecutors who were unable to land a conviction for civil rights violations for 2 officers who played an active role in the encounter. Jurors repeatedly watched graphic clips from the police video that showed the officers punch and kick Nichols and hit him with a police baton just steps from his home as the 29-year-old called out to his mother, "Low down dirty devils." In a statement, Assistant U.S. Attorney General Kirsten Clark, who oversees the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division, said Tyre Nichols should be alive today. We hope this prosecution provides some measures of comfort as the law enforcement officers tied to his death have been held accountable. Now, Bean and Smith were seen on the video wrestling with Nichols and holding his arms while also hitting him. But the jury was not convinced those actions amounted to civil rights violations. An FBI agent said Smith told them he punched Nichols, but defense attorneys argued Bean and Smith were merely slapping Nichols' hands as they tried to put handcuffs on him. Yeah, they were doing a whole lot more than slapping his darn hands. Rodney Wells, Nichols' stepfather, told the Associated Press outside the courtroom that a win is a win. They're all going to jail. 5 officers were charged in Nichols' death, but 2 pleaded guilty and testified against members of their own crime suppression unit. Prosecutors argued that Nichols was beaten for running from the traffic stop, saying it was part of a common police practice referred to in officer slang as a street tax or a run tax. They said the officers lied to a supervisor, to medical professionals attending to Nichols, and in required written reports about the extent of the force that they used. They say this has been a long journey for our family. This is what Rovon Wells, Nichols' mother, told reporters, saying, "I'm actually in shock right now because I still can't believe all the stuff that's going on. But we're happy that they all have been convicted and that they've been arrested." Now, Smith's lawyer declined to comment. Attorneys for Bean and Haley did not respond to requests for comment sent by phone, text, or email after the verdict. Nichols was a Black man who ran from the traffic stop despite being hit with pepper spray and a taser. The 5 officers who were fired after the beating were also Black. Some of the most emotional testimony at trial came from one of the officers, Desmond Mills, who took a plea deal in which prosecutors called for up to 15 years in prison. He testified in tears that he was sorry for the beating, that he left Nichols' young son fatherless, and that he wishes he stopped the punches. Later, he testified that he went along with the cover-up in hopes that Nichols would survive and the whole thing would blow over. No, he didn't. He's not sorry. He's sorry for himself. He's sorry that they all got caught and that they're all going to now face consequences for their nefarious actions. He's not sorry. He may wish that he stopped the punches now because in hindsight, he sees where it's gotten him. But at the time he was doing it, he didn't want to stop, and he didn't stop. Nichols died January the 10th of 2023, 3 days after the beating. His son is now 7 years old. The other officer who reached a deal with prosecutors, Emmett Martin, testified that Nichols was helpless while officers pummeled him, and that afterward the officers understood they weren't going to tell on me and I wasn't going to tell on them. Under this plea agreement, prosecutors will suggest a prison sentence of up to 40 years. This is a whole lot worse than what Amber Geiger got, who's up for parole after 5 years. Please pay attention of her 10-year sentence. Now, defense attorney sought to portray Martin as a principal aggressor. Martin testified that Nichols was not a threat, yet he acknowledged punching and kicking Nichols in the head. Mills's attorney declined to comment. Martin's attorney did not immediately respond to a phone message. The police video shows the officers milling about and talking as Nichols struggles with his injuries. An autopsy report shows that he died from blows to the head. The report describes brain injuries and cuts and bruises on his head and other areas. With the federal criminal trial complete, other investigators and court actions still aren't settled. Okay, so with that all being said, this is a very sad and tragic story. My heartfelt condolences to the family, friends, and loved ones, and specifically the son, the 7-year-old son of Tyre Nichols. That man did not deserve what they did to him. They are animals to have done so, and I hope all of them rot in piss. And at the end of the day, here's the thing. The jury couldn't decide whether or not that they did it, that they should have been found guilty of all the charges. I don't think the jury would have been so confused if the person that they beat to death didn't look like Tyre Nichols. And that's just my opinion on that. You see, because for some reason in this country, people have a whole lot more sympathy and empathy, and a whole lot more value is placed on the lives of people who don't look like me. That's just a fact. And even, sadly, from other people who look like me. Our own people don't even value the lives of our people. This is why we have all of this black on black crime. This is why we have these 5 black officers who beat a black man to death. This is why. Because some of us don't even care about our damn selves. And I want you all to marinate on that. With that all being said, I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hey, yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor. Gold all in my skin. God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me?